Hey y'all, it's Coach in the Fight. Look, we're on another Sabbath day, and all day I've been looking at the Enoch calendar, making sure that I have it correct. I'm still creating the Enoch calendar. This is what it looks like so far. You see some of the other videos, you can see all the stuff that's going in on here. But there was a little hiccup that had me looking at the Enoch calendar all day. If you work with the Enoch calendar, you know what kind of hiccups I'm talking about. You work with the Hebrew calendar. So I started studying on it and making sure that it's right, making sure everything's lining up right. And it was, of course, the Enoch calendar, when you put those 364 days on there, and 30-day months, 31-day months, 91-day seasons. It all tends to work out, although it's still confusing to the mind. Me growing up in Babylon minded, still, I got a Gregorian calendar somewhere in the house, so I ain't completely detached from it, and it's still, Enoch calendar is still a little confusing. But I got on in line. I don't know if it was mistakenly or not, but I tried to find somebody saying Enoch calendar explained, seeing if they can explain how this thing works, so I can compare what I have to what they have. But nobody does it. A lot of people talk about it, but they don't really push the peg around the board, if you know what I mean, so we can see it line up. And I plan to do that, but not in this video. In this video, I wanted to show you, I want to expound on one of the errors that I just found. In one of the videos, I look at those videos on YouTube, people talking about the Enoch calendar. I think I'm hoping that somebody's going to get it right, so that I could then point to it and say, hey, this guy's got it right, and we can all follow him. But every time I do, I find errors. The last gentleman, I can't remember, and I probably should reference it in the description, but he talks about how the year starts with the equinoxes. Equal days, equal nights. The equinoxes, and those are the beginning of years. He went on some monologue about how the Bible never mentions the word new moon and all of this. And he wasn't starting his calendar or his months based on the moon. He was starting his calendar based on the equinoxes. So one of the first things I did was went and looked up the equinoxes. I have my little notes here, and now it's not my old engineering professors would be mad I didn't label any of my axes. I don't even have axes. But what I found was that each equinox, with the exception of two over this, 12-year period, we're all on the 20th. Right? And you look in this area right here, there are a number of consecutive 20-day March 20th days. So this is 1 year, it's another year, it's another year. So each year is coming up on March 20th. When I saw this 19 in there, I started thinking, oh, well, there's going to be a leap year or something like that. But these are 4 years that the leap year is taken into account. So looking at the equinoxes obviously puts you on a 365 and a quarter day cycle. And that's not the lunar cycle. I mean, that's not the Hebrew cycle. That's not the Enoch cycle. That's not the Enoch year, 364 days. If you go from this day to that day, that's 365. And when you take into account all of these, it's actually 365 and a quarter days. So I wanted to know why was he saying, where did he get this, that the months or the years doesn't really correspond to the month. And that's where he's coming from. So I went to Enoch because I seem to remember, well, I know for a fact Enoch said that the months are based on the moon and not some equinox. And so what I could, and I have 3 different versions here. This is 3 different translations. This is the Forgotten Book, the Forgotten Mysteries of Enoch. It has 1 translation in it. And then I have the Researcher's Library of Ancient Texts, Volume 1. It has another translation of Enoch. And then I have even another one over here, the Old Testament Pseudographa, which has another translation. So it just so happens I have 3 different translations in here so that I can look and try to see what the error was or what he's missing. And then what the conclusion I came up with is, yeah, he read chapter 72, which is the book of the courses of the heavenly luminaries, but he didn't go into chapter 73, which talks about the moon, particularly this one, this verse here, 73 verse 4. And it's a different, like I said, some of these translations is actually chapter 72. I'm not sure if they got rid of one, but this is actually 73 in this translation. And it says that and I'm trying to put it in so you can read it for yourself. But what it's saying is that on the 30th day, you're going to have a 0% moon. On those who follow the moon don't understand, a 0% moon, that day of the month when you're not going to see a moon in the sky at all. There's no percentage illuminated. Well, according to Enoch, that falls on the 30th morning or the 30th day. And he goes on to explain it. Now, this version up here, I don't really like this version. They took some liberties in the text, like they soften it down, but it seems to be to explain it the clearest. This is like equivalent to the new, I'm guessing, but I'm thinking it's more like a new international or a new English standard version. And of course, when they do that, they take some liberties. And the translation is translation errors. I've read it, but I didn't really like it, but it's the best. It turns out to explain it the best. Now, using this high quality video, so you could probably read it for yourself. You can catch a good thing, good screenshot, push pause, and then you can read what it's saying here in this translation. This is like I said, 72. Over here is 73 in this version. I don't know if they deleted a whole chapter out. I gotta go check that out. But like I said, if you get a good screenshot, push pause, and you can read it. Here's the second part of it. And it's talking about the moon being used in the calculation of the month. I think right here it talks about how the full moon falls on the 14th day of the month, somewhere in here. The full moon falls when the moon is full. It's on the 14th day of the month. And so I'm not sure. I think maybe he's got there. A lot of people are doing this. This is one individual. A lot of people are trying to explain away how the moon is used in the calculation. I think they're reading chapter 72, or they're reading what's called Enoch's book of the courses of the luminaries, but they're not going far. They're not reading the rest. Yeah, this is a long book. It's you got to get all the way to chapter 70 something just before you get to that part, but it goes on quite a few. So I understand, if they didn't read all of the chapters, but it's kind of important to understand what you're talking about before you start trying to teach it. So we'll continue to work on it, and as we progress, we'll let you know. Yahushua is Lord.